Senator Alice-Mary Higgins, please.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Civil Engagement Group in Shannon, I'd like to thank Michel Barnier for his presence here today and for the special and appropriate consideration he has given to Ireland in advance of the forthcoming negotiations. The four fundamental freedoms must indeed be protected, and in particular the freedom of movement, which is of such great importance for Irish citizens and indeed for all those who live on this island. While the question of the border has already been discussed, I would like to raise one further point on that. Can you assure us, Michel Barnier, that the EU will not lead to any militarisation of Ireland's border with the UK, as we have seen in other EU external borders, or indeed attempt to press ahead with any further development of an EU military, which could risk or compromise Ireland's neutrality, something of deep and valuable and importance to our state and our citizens and to our international role in peace building. Others have spoken about the importance of our own peace process. One crucial pillar of the Good Friday Agreement was the co-guaranteeing of human rights, and the Human Rights Act in the UK was brought alongside the Good Friday Agreement to underpin that commitment. It is therefore of great concern to see the UK recently speak of repealing that Act. Will you, Michel Barnier, in your negotiations, seek to protect this important Act, ideally linked to the European Court of Human Rights, or at a minimum, demand a commitment to full and ongoing equivalence on human rights standards? On the wider question of standards, it is vital that European and indeed international principles and policies which have been set and agreed in areas such as employment, equality and the environment do not face a rollback in this process. We all know that a race to the bottom is a race that nobody wins. On the environment, the prospect of the UK moving away from common rules and commitments could seriously endanger collective progress in this area, and could indeed risk direct environmental damage for those of us in Ireland. How does the Commission see negotiations with the UK proceeding in this area of environmental regulation, and what leverage can be employed to secure them? How, for example, will we guarantee that any deal with the UK preserves the principles and measures of sustainability which currently underpin the common fisheries policy? Access and transit through UK territorial waters will also be vital for Irish fishermen, and I know that this is an area which you understand with great depth. Others have spoken of transport, telecommunications and energy, but there are other areas of important cooperation between the two parts of the island and Ireland and the UK more broadly, areas of practical cooperation, many of which predate or operate outside as well as alongside the EU's remit. Such practical cooperation in areas such as education, health and social protection, particularly pensions, are of immense importance to the real lived lives of our citizens and must not be lost in these negotiations. Lastly, Michel Barnier, we in Ireland will of course be watching the forthcoming negotiations with great attention, but they will be also watched by many across Europe and across the world. At a time of great difficulty, following periods of austerity, following periods of conflict, and the message, the nature of the negotiations, the tone of the negotiations, will send an important message about Europe and about what Europe is. It is vitally important that the message is not simply a Europe that is strong, nor simply a Europe of the economy, but that it is a Europe grounded in social rights and social cohesion, which works for peace, which values all of its members and values democracy, which listens to civil society, a Europe committed to all its citizens and all who live in it, and committed also to positive leadership and partnership in our shared world as we face challenges ahead. We entrust you to convey that message, Michel Barnier. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator.